Hey eBay friends, it's Suzanne A. Wells. Thanks for coming back for another video. And in this video, I'm going to prove to you that you can make money on eBay even selling items that are stained. Obviously, not every single thing with a stain is going to sell, but you may not have thought of this. You may not have thought that people would even buy anything imperfect. And one of the reasons I'm making this video is I am working with some clients right now who are kind of stuck in perfectionist mode that they think everything has to be absolutely perfect, no defects in order to sell on eBay, and that is just not true. So I'm going to show you the proof. So hang on to the end of the video so you want to see all of this because it's going to help you make more money. So first of all, sometimes it isn't worth your time to try to remove a stain. It just depends on what the item is and what the stain is from. Um, I see a lot of you out there wanting to know stain removal hacks and how to get a certain kind of stain off a certain kind of fabric, and that's great that you are trying it. Absolutely, you should give it your best effort to remove a stain before trying to sell something. But sometimes it's just not going to come out, and it becomes a cost benefit analysis. You've got to decide if spending hours and hours trying to get a stain out of something is a good use of your time and how much you expect to sell the item for um, if the stain is removed. So, all of this is about time. You've got to make these decisions about how to use your time the most wisely because everyone has the same amount of time in a day. And it's what you do with it that matters. So, you want to be as focused as possible on income producing activities throughout your day, obviously with balance. Uh, but you don't want to get hung up on things where you're tripping over dollars to pick up pennies, so to speak. You want to focus on those things that are going to make you the most money. So sometimes with stain removal, it's just leave it there. I personally don't bother with these stains: underarm yellowing, urine stains on pants, which you're going to see that on men's pants because the prostate issue, it's just something that happens, and that's just the nature of that medical condition. So you're going to see that. Ring around the collar, permanent marker, blood, grass, or red wine. And these are stains on clothes I'm talking about, or fabrics. Obviously you can probably get permanent marker off of a leather shoe or a picture frame. That's not what I'm talking about here. We're talking about clothing. So when I see these kinds of stains on items at thrift stores, I don't buy them at all. But sometimes you'll see something that's a high dollar item or a high end brand, and it will have a small defect on it and it's cheap, and you think, well, I'm going to try to get that stain out, but even if I don't, maybe I could sell it anyway. So that should be your thinking, is leave behind the obvious things that are not really possible to get out. And underarm yellowing and ring around the collar are two that are just not worth your time, because honestly it just looks gross and I don't want that on my listing anyway. So those are my guidelines for what I leave behind or don't even try. But this is meant to empower you, to give you some more ideas of how to make money on things that are imperfect, so you can sell stained items as is. I'm going to show you a few examples here, and then we're going to go over to eBay and look at some more. But this is a Patagonia coat, and it's got in the title Patagonia Women's Down Sweater. I don't know why they've got sweater because it's obviously a jacket. So that's keyword spamming. Don't do that. Berry medium with stains. So this item with a stain still sold for $125. This coat is probably $400 retail. These Patagonia down coats are very expensive. So this was a great item to salvage. Maybe whoever is going to wear it, that bought it, is going to be out in the woods or skiing or whatever anyway, and it's going to get dirty and they don't care. So it doesn't have to be perfect. This buyer got a fantastic coat, well made with down, for a fraction of the price new, and it had a little stain on it. So, plenty of items sell as is with stains. And what you want to think about is, can the item be repurposed? Is it going to be cut apart and made into something else? Is the stain in a prominent area? Maybe it could be covered up with a scarf or a jacket or a cardigan, or it just doesn't matter. It could be a layering piece that's going to be worn underneath something. So, brands like Icebreaker, North Face, Mountain Hardware, Columbia, those types of brands that make base layers for things. Even if it's white and it has a bit of a stain on it, it may be a very expensive piece, and it doesn't matter because it's going to be worn under 3 layers of clothing outside anyway. You also want to think about um, elderly people and this actually happened. I was in a thrift store one time, and this man was shopping in the sweaters for his mom, and he said she was in he looked kind of lost. So I kind of said, can I help you with anything? Just I felt like I should reach out to him. And he's like, yeah, I'm trying to find sweaters for my mom. She's disabled. She's in a nursing home, and she spills food on herself a lot. And she likes to wear pretty clothes, but everything is getting ruined. And I don't want to spend all this money on pretty clothes. And they're trying to help her preserve her dignity by not just making her wear, you know, uh, cheap clothing that he wants her to look pretty and feel pretty, but she's has some issues with feeding herself. And this is his mom and he respects her. So he was trying to find sweaters for her, and he didn't care if they had a little bit of a defect on them because he knew that they were going to not last really long anyway. Or it was okay if they weren't perfect. So that's where I got clued in that some people just don't care if there's a little bit of a stain on it. And as our population ages and more baby boomers move into getting older, and maybe this is a situation where they want to wear nice clothes, but they don't care if they get messed up because they've got health issues they're dealing with, or that type of thing. So that's just something to think about. Things can still sell as is even if they have a stain. So you really have nothing to lose offering a stained or imperfect item because the buyer may not care, or they may want to try to get the stain out themselves. Or the item might be used for drama, theater, costume, or a reason where a stain does not matter. So, what you want to ask yourself when you buy the item is, can I at least get what I'm paying back? And this will be an experiment. If you've never done it before, you want to try it. And obviously, if you're buying things for $2 or $3, yeah, you'll get your money back out of it, even if you just sell it for 5. You're not going to lose anything by trying, is what I'm saying here. So your goal is to sell it for many times your investment, but your safety net is, well, I can always get what I paid for it. Now, you want to give full disclosure. Take several photos of the stain so the buyer will know what they're getting. These little sticky note arrows are great. You can put those on the item when you're taking pictures. If you're not good at photo editing and you don't want to go back and try to figure out how to put arrows and stuff pointing to the stain, these are great. You just stick it on there and take the picture. You also want to write the description of the stain, such as 1/2 inch stain to left of front zipper, 4 inches from hem, something like that. So you want to tell them exactly where it is in writing, as well as take a picture of it, because if there is a dispute, you'll have it on there in 2 places. You also want to put it at the top of the listing where it has the condition, and you'll say like pre-owned, small stain near collar, or whatever it is. So you can get these little sticky post-it note arrow things at office supply store, Amazon, Walmart. They're everywhere. But this is a great idea to do when you're taking pictures. You don't have to go back and edit the photo and draw a circle around the problem or whatever it is. So as long as you can point to your photos and description about the defect, you're okay if the buyer files an item not as described case, because we all know that buyers do not read the listings And sometimes they don't even look at all the pictures. What I do if the item has a flaw before I ship it, I always message the buyer and say, hey, thank you for your purchase. Just want to verify that you saw the defect on this item and you're okay with that. If they don't answer, I go ahead and ship it within my shipping time frame. If they do answer and change their mind, then you can do a cancel the sale per buyer request. You don't get a defect to do that. The only time you get a defect is if you cancel a transaction because you can't ship it, you can't find the item, it's broken or something like that. I have a video on how to deal with that situation, so look at the top right there, go watch that video next. But I just try to verify with them to prevent any confusion later that they saw the problem on the item and they're okay with it. So let's look at another one here. Let's look at some actual sales. This is an Hervé. I don't even know how to say this. Somebody help me on this one. It's French and I'm not good at that. Anyway, black and white bandage dress. It was extra small. It retails for $1,500 and it has stain on it. This person still sold it for $50. So, if you find a high-end designer item, somebody may not care. They can get a deal. This person maybe bought this dress for $2 or $3 and they flipped it for $50 and it's imperfect. Then we have 7 for All Mankind women's white denim jeans, and there's a stain on these and they still sold for $49.99 plus shipping. So another example. Then we've got a lot of Kugi or Kuji, however you say that, embroidered jacket, and these both jackets had stains and they still sold for $89.99. So those are 3 good examples. So let's go over to eBay and oops, get my window straightened up here. So one thing you want to do when you are doing your research for stained item is you're going to need to filter out words that don't count. So what I'm going to do here is this little advanced tab here. When you're doing a search, you can go and filter out words you don't want. So I'm going to put in glass because I don't want anything stained glass coming up, or tea because tea stained is actually a color and that's not what I'm looking for either. So I'm going to do my search here and I'm searching for dresses that have a stain, completed listings, used condition. So here's a Tory Burch right here. It has a stain. It's sold for $75. So let's see what kind of stain it had. Let's go to the pictures here. Has minor stain on sleeve. So let's see if she pointed it out. And there's some pilling. It's a beautiful dress. There's the stain right there. It's very minor, but another seller might have said, oh, not going to sell it. It has a stain on it. And this person was smart enough to realize Tory Burch, it's a very expensive dress, and she sold it for $75. So that's a great example right there. Let's go back and look at another one real quick. Let's see. Here's a Burberry baby girl dress, size 1 pink, small stain. Okay, baby clothes, absolutely, you're going to find these with stains on them. But some people don't care. They may be using it for a photograph and they don't care. They're going to cover that up anyway. Or, they just absolutely don't care if there's a stain on it. So this person sold it on best offer. I'm going to show you how to figure out what exactly it's sold for, but let's see if we can see. There's a stain right there. It looks like there might be one on the front too. One small stain on the bottom right hand side. So that's the stain right there, just barely imperfect. If you see an item that is sold on best offer, like this one was, see how it has a line through it? what you can do is go to this site called Watch Count, and you can get the item number. So I'm going to go over here and get the item number, which eBay makes this so small and hard to see. There it is. Okay, I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to go to Watch Count, and I'm going to put in the item number, hit enter, and it's going to come up with what the item sold for. So this person took a best offer of $35. Her asking price was $39, so that's fantastic for a item that was stained. And who knows, you probably got this at a thrift store for $1. You don't know, and flipped it for $35. So proving my point that things do not have to be perfect to be sold on eBay. People don't care. So you want to factor in the brand, the original retail price, what it could have been, and where the stain is and what kind of stain it is. So look at completeds to get an idea of what works and what things are going for before you jump in and do this. But yeah, children's clothing is definitely one that you can sell stained. I've actually done that myself. So hope this works for you. Also, I want to make you aware of my uh, clothing course. I've got a combo pack for my women's clothing and shoe courses, and it's stuff just like this, tips that you may not know, what to sell, how to do these workarounds so you can make more money selling things that you may not have considered before. So there's a link to that and all my other courses below this video, so you can check those out. But this combo pack I've recently put together, it's 4 courses. You get women's clothing 1, 2, and 3, and the shoe course, and it's 5 hours of material. And you also get email support if you have questions. So definitely check that out if you like these videos and you want to learn more and you want to jumpstart your eBay clothing and shoe business. This is the way to do it. So thank you so much for watching. Would love your comments below. Sorry I can't pronounce all these words, but I'm not I'm just not good at some languages. So have a great day on eBay. Bye.